If your company gave everyone ChatGPT, but nothing really seemed to change, this video today might explain why that is. I'm Dino Gane-Palmer, CEO at PreScouter, and over the last 3 years, we've worked with hundreds of projects and use cases with numerous companies from healthcare to consumer electronics to pharma, and we keep seeing the same types of failure patterns repeat over and over inside very smart, well-funded companies. The problem isn't the models, it's not the training, it's not even that your people don't get AI. In the next few minutes, I want to show you the 3 fallacies that keeps breaking AI adoption inside enterprises, and then give you kind of the 3 steps to help you be successful. The first fallacy is what I'll call the viral software fallacy. Normally, when you roll out a new tool, maybe it's a CRM or an ERP, the tool has an element of one person sharing with another person, which drives adoption. It has sort of an inherent virality to it. But with Copilot and AI-based tools, they're actually very personal. If you use Copilot, you're not necessarily sharing your output with your colleague, and so your colleague is not necessarily getting the value out of it as well. And what this means is that success with these tools is actually very personal. There are pockets of people who are having fantastic usage and fantastic success with these tools, and there are large numbers of people who are not exposed and having visibility into that, which means they're not benefiting from what's possible with these tools. It's not like Google Docs or an Excel where one person creates something and then puts it on a shared drive and everybody else gets to see how it was made and what it looks like and is able to sort of replicate it. Working with these tools doesn't work in that way. So the first issue is that there's just no viral adoption, which explains why there's vast differences in usage of these tools across everybody in your teams. The second fallacy that we see is that there has been a mindset of, hey, let's just try these tools and get some quick wins, run some pilots. But what often ends up happening is that you suddenly have 60 different tools. They all have different strengths and weaknesses, and not everybody is using every single tool. So you end up with this sort of graveyard of pilots or graveyard of tools, and it feels like we're doing a lot of work using the technology, trying the technology, but we're not really seeing sort of organization-wide improvement in pushing through using this technology. Third fallacy that we see is that while these tools promise to help everyone be more productive, everyone is actually too busy to learn how to use the tools. And the problem is more that if you spend the time learning how to use the tool, you might not necessarily get that productivity improvement. So the unpredictability of whether you're actually going to see the benefit, plus the time that needs to be invested. So what this means is that many people are just reluctant to invest a lot of time because it takes so much time and energy to get these tools working. Everybody wants the productivity, but nobody has the time to change how they work. So the 3-step playbook that we do see work is, first of all, having a centralized testing team that essentially tests new capabilities, tests new tools, and acts as a filter for the entire organization. So they're basically figuring out which of these 60 tools are actually worth driving adoption of, and maybe just picking one tool every quarter or 3 to 6 months that you really want to push across your departments or organization. The second thing is the people who are closest to the work are actually the people who are best placed to figure out how the tool should be used. So as well as having a centralized testing team, having a network of champions who can take the vetted tools and then figure out for their department how this image generation capability could be used, or how this vibe coding can be used. And so these champions basically being the early adopters, developing basically the lessons learned, figuring out the drawbacks and how to get the most out of these tools. Having these champions is the second part that we see really working. And then the third part is these champions really need to build assets, as in prompts and techniques that can be reused across everybody in their team. So everybody in their team has basically a proven set of methods and prompts for applying this to their work. So that's the three-part system that we see really work for driving adoption of AI. Have you tried this yourself? If you have, I'd love to know in the comments what your experience has been. And if you have any other ideas, also feel free to drop them in the comments or reach out to me on LinkedIn. Love to have conversations around this.